to Minding Your Business, the show for entrepreneurs, very diverse entrepreneurs. I'm your host, June Middleton. We have a really special show for you this evening. We have two very talented entrepreneurs with us, an author, lecturer, historian, and world traveler, Anthony Piantieri. He has written an incredible book, which I am really looking forward to talking to him about. It's just, you'll enjoy hearing about it and seeing it as well. And we also have a very talented and creative entrepreneur with us, and a good friend as well. And she has been responsible for so many of our really great talents that have come on the show, as well as our author that's here with us this evening. I am pleased to present to you also Maria Giorgio. Maria, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, June.
Thank you so much for bringing this wonderful, talented, creative, and very handsome as well, author.
Oh, wow. Thank you, June.
Well, I knew this would be something that would be right up your alley. When I saw his book, I said, Minding Your Business.
Me.
Oh, God.
Now, the two of you actually were in school together, weren't you?
Grammar school.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
St. Pat's Old Cathedral.
That's right.
You're kidding. But you didn't really know each other
We
that
really
well
didn't.
at that
Well,
time, did you?
I think I knew her from a distance.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess
She
so.
didn't know me until we were in junior high, right? I guess.
Yeah, in seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
And then he was so smart, I wouldn't talk to him. And he said he wouldn't talk to me because I was so pretty.
She was, yeah. You don't approach the goddess, without going through the rituals of purification and so
You
on.
brought up a very good topic, speaking of goddesses
Right.
and gods and things like
yeah,
that.
right.
You have written an incredible book. And
Thank you.
it's just, what made you decide to write it? First of all, I mean, it's Pont
Max.
Max, which is Pontifex Maximus.
Pontifex Maximus. It was an imperial title,
Yeah.
which means the supreme bridge builder, which the emperors had. They wore two hats. They were political leaders,
Right,
and
right,
they
right.
were also the head of the Roman cult. So then later on, when the popes eventually took charge of the city, when the empire had collapsed, the popes, starting I think with Leo the Great, took the title Pont Max, a supreme bridge builder between the gods and the mortals below.
What made you decide to write it? I mean, this is really quite an undertaking.
Naivete.
I've had, yeah. Oh, really?
I didn't know what I was getting into.
I mean, it's very difficult for anybody who writes to put pen to paper. And I've had a lot of authors on the show that have started in the middle or started at the end, or they just sit and stare at blank pieces of paper. What was your, what got you started?
It happened accidentally, actually, because I had been to Rome as a student in the summer of '96, and then went back with a friend of mine in '97, who was a history teacher. We were just hanging out, having a good time. And then I met my wife, and we honeymooned there in '98, and she came up with the idea. She says, we've been here so many times, and you've studied, and you've courses, and you like to write, you're a good writer. Why don't you write about this? And naively, I said, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Sure, I could do it. And you know the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, you know
Yes,
what? Go ahead and
yes,
try and
yes.
write about it. And then, how many days was that blank, not piece of paper, but the blank computer screen staring
gee.
back at me with the cursor beeping, and I'm going, I don't know what to do now. I have all these notes, and I've done all this
gosh.
research. And
Well, now, how long were you actually in the process of doing researching? I know that you took a trip to Rome and spent quite a bit of time there in 1996.
96, yeah.
Was it? So had you already started writing prior to that trip? Or?
No, in '96 it was I was taking courses on Imperial Rome, and then I got,
Don't you have a master's degree in
I do
this-
in
religion?
religions.
And-
Yes, right, I do. So I was taking courses in Imperial Rome with Fordham University, and I got sidetracked with the architecture and the art, and I got into, really found myself getting into the Renaissance period because I was surrounded by it, you know, and the piazzas and the shrines and the museums.
Oh, you write so beautifully and colorfully about those periods.
You know,
and
I just found myself getting more drawn to that particular thing, and then I started to coalesce a lot of research, but it was very inchoate. I had a lot of stuff, and I didn't know quite how I was going to organize it, and I got the idea that I might organize it around the 4 major basilicas of Rome and divide Rome up into these, you know, as Caesar would say, divide and conquer. And that's the only way I went about it, is I'll deal with the San Giovanni thing first, where I was staying, then I'll deal with San Pietro, and I'll deal with Santa Maria Maggiore, and I'll break it up that way, San Paolo.
Are you fluent in Italian?
Somewhat in Italian, yeah. Well, you know, when you're staying there, when you live in a city, you better learn the language, especially there. I mean, if you travel on the trains and everything.
Everybody in every other country except this one speaks our language for the
I tell
most
you,
part,
Isn't that funny how that worked out?
Yeah.
And it was because of an Italian that we speak English in this country.
Funny.
And I was going to do my homework and look up his name, but I forgot.
Now, I mean, this is a 298-page
Something like that,
book,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, it's not like in big type like this. It's a small
You know,
font,
and-
so I mean, that's a lot of writing.
I didn't know how long
What
it was
was
gonna
the entire process?
You know, the research thing was a very big part of it. And then one summer, we weren't going back to Rome. And I thought, it would be nice now, I'll start writing, and doing that, I'll relive a lot of these experiences. And I had gotten as far as about the first 50 pages when 9/11 happened. And as you know, I lost my wife at the World Trade Center that day.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's
As you may know. So that put the whole project kind of on the back burner for quite a while, because then I had an issue with the government. I was going to go to arbitration with my attorneys rather than take the money that the government was doling out, hoping you won't sue the airlines. That process lasted a few years. I wound up writing a manuscript, as I said in the epilogue.
Yeah.
I came up with a manuscript that was
That
big as
must
the
have
book.
been as long as the book.
Just to do that.
Well, I'm so glad, though, that you did get through that and that you were able to, at some point, pick up continuing to write
2004. I
the
started.
book. Oh, okay. I mean, many people would not have been able to continue at all.
You know, I had to
So
do it,
was
June,
good for
because
you.
the book became kind of a tribute to my late wife, Eugenia, because she inspired the whole idea of it. So I figured.
And we do have some pictures that we will see as we talk, and I think one of them has your late wife.
Eugenia,
Debbie.
yeah, that's the one of
yeah.
the I think at Hadrian's Villa, the canopus pool. And here
Now,
it is. They have it on
how
now.
did
They have
you
it
go
pulled up.
about? Oh, yeah, lovely.
That was
Oh,
the Emperor
beautiful.
Hadrian's Villa. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a favorite place of ours. It's just gorgeous.
Now, how would you describe Pont Max? Is it a guidebook for tourists, or is it a history? I mean, you have so many things in there talking about the water from the fountains as
Yeah.
vintage water being better than the bottled water that you would get
Yeah,
there.
they don't go by, you know, the real Romans say acqua di fontana, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know why? Because the water from the fountains there, which they're running in streets on these they look like fire hydrants, that's water coming from the aqueducts, it's from the mountains. But yeah, you learn, when you live there, you learn all these little things. And I didn't want to write a history kind of text. I wanted to be history through the back door as a tourist, because that's what I was. I was a student, I was a tourist. I love people when they say, oh, we go there in September, you know, when all the tourists aren't there. Well, what the heck are you? I mean, you know,
Well, yeah, right, but
Hello.
your professori,
yeah.
Professor Sori,
Yeah.
got you to take it easy.
Oh, he was wonderful.
Right?
He was great.
And to
Signore,
enjoy.
learn to take it easy. You have to take it easy. You know, you're in such a hurry all the time. You know, he was wonderful. He's a great guide, and I had a lot of funny experiences with him. And he became a character in the story, in the telling of the book,
Yes, I remember
which adds
you
a little
not,
humorous.
waiting for him someplace, not thinking he was going to show up.
Yeah,
and
we
you
were on the
going
train to Venice.
Vatican, to
It was
Venice.
Venice, and you know, I didn't know where to get off the next day. And he said, "Well, don't worry, you know, I will see you long before we get there." And you know, we're arriving as we're in Venice. It's the next morning, And where's the professore?
Oh, and I love it where you mentioned all of a sudden he appears.
He just shows up out of nowhere. He's like, I told you not to worry. Take it easy. You know, you worry too much. So I learned how to take it easy, especially in Venice.
Oh, I'll bet from what you described.
La
you
Serenissima.
Oh,
the most
my gosh.
serene. See, Rome is all hustle, bustle. And
The Vespers that you have to
that's
dodge.
Dodge, and people
Crossing
knock
the
you over
street.
when you cross. But Venice, everything glides and everything is serene. La Serenissima.
It's because of the water.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you step out without looking and you're going to step into the water, not to a sidewalk.
Very, very often, yeah. When the moon is full or when the Scirocco blows, and then the restaurants are putting all these planks out, and you know.
So because your feet are getting wet.
It's like you're on a ship that's sinking. All of a sudden, you look down and go, "There's water around this
But
chair
thank
here. The
goodness
water's
it
bubbling
never,
up."
it never sinks. It just adds
It comes
flavor.
close. Paul McCartney has spent a lot of money on the building a mosaic, the finance a dike to stop the lagoons.
Well, tell us about, I mean, there's so many things for such an undertaking like this. What was the publishing process like, and how did you decide how you were going to publish it?
I had friends who had published, and a woman in particular helped me a lot with the book, Mary Pinkowish. And she says, you can go that route, certainly. But he said, but you'll wind up killing a lot of your babies. I said, what do you mean? She says, a favorite paragraph or a chapter, or another editor says, no, we don't want that there, or we don't like this, and we don't like that. And I was kind of inspired, actually, by Orson Welles. I had taught film for many years, and was so incredibly amazed at 25 to produce, direct, star in, co-write Citizen Kane. I became fascinated with authorship. I didn't just want to be an author. I wanted to be an auteur. I wanted it to be my project from start to finish, the way I wanted it, the way I wanted it to look. So the layout, the book design, the kind of binding.
Well, that definitely has come across because it is a cocktail table book as well as a book filled with information that's interesting but also helpful to someone who's traveling there.
I thought that then self-publishing was the way for me to go. And I wanted to be helpful. No, I didn't just want history. I wanted, like, where are you eating tonight? What was the guitar music like? Not just tell history, but to create the feel of the place. Look, I'm not going to tell something that hasn't been told before. There's a million books on Rome.
But it's the way that you
I
tell
want
it
to
that
tell
makes it more
in a
interesting.
more different way. Thank you.
So, and I found it to be really, really fascinating. I mean, even you talk about the Wicked Witch or something, who's a female
La
Santa.
Befana?
La Befana.
La Befana.
Yeah, the Epiphany Witch, January
right?
6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an old hag, and she comes out.
And gives out toys.
I know, it's amazing. I've never seen her because I've not been there in February, but that's the whole the legend of La
that's the legend?
Befana in Piazza Navona, which I wrote about.
Oh my gosh.
I love Piazza
I
Navona.
found that
It's a great place.
section fascinating.
Love it. It's a big deal. Every
Yeah,
year.
it seemed
Kids
that
love it.
way. It definitely seemed that way. So the publishing process, of how long did that take you?
Well,
And was it very costly?
it was very costly.
Okay.
I mean, the book, the production, the whole book.
Well, it's a quality
Yeah,
book.
it was like $30,000 to produce that. But it was a long process because I was taking on a lot on myself. The self-publishing.com, basically got the book into print for me. But I'm the publisher,
Right.
and I
And
had
you had-
final decision. So
Right,
I had to
right.
get the galleys, and the galleys, these long pages, and you've got 4 pages on each side of the galley. It's 8 pages, and you have to
gosh.
check it and go through it.
Right. What a learning experience
Yeah, it
that
was a
must
long-
have been.
Well, I had worked for
Fascinating.
Reader's Digest, so I was somewhat
Oh,
familiar
okay.
with the whole thing.
Okay.
And then
Well-
you go to page proof, and then you got to go
Yeah.
through the page proof. And
Well, it was just a wonderful experience because you took us through Rome and other cities and enjoying the cuisine.
I love
which,
God, the food is.
yes.
I tell you, the student cafeterias,
churches.
I ate as good in the student cafeterias
gosh.
as you would eat in a number of restaurants here in New York.
Salty but good.
And you
Yeah, it was
speak
salty.
also fondly, too, of the artists and the architects, Bernini and Michelangelo, of course, and David as one of
Yeah.
the two differences of their sculpture. And also, too, I was interested, you mentioned about how you would be almost serenaded sipping your grappa.
Yeah, that was great.
At
At night,
cafes.
the Pantheon, I think we have one of the pictures from the Pantheon, but that was a wonderful experience at night, just seeing that building there and having the grappa and hearing the guitar play. There's the
And
the
seeing
Pantheon picture
listening
now.
to the singers.
And
Well,
it's great.
we have with us
Oh, hello.
We have a singer.
Hello.
Look
a
at that.
wonderful singer.
And I'm Italian.
And she's
We are-
Italiana.
right?
Hey.
Maria Giorgio.
Maria Giorgio.
It sounds like an opera by Puccini. Maria Giorgio.
That's what I was
Well,
told.
we'd love to have you perform also, which will
I would love
take
to.
Anthony back to his experiences in writing the book, but also, too, we get to know
A little
more
bit about me.
you.
And my
yes.
first song is a
But
little
wait,
bit-
before you go, I'd just like, you have been very entrepreneurial as well, though.
Oh, yes.
But you started singing at a very early age.
Music is my first love. I started singing when I was 3.
Oh, my
all
gosh.
around the house, and then I started performing, in school when I was about 5, all through grammar school, high school, and then in my mid-20s, I kind of got out of the closet and just started getting out there and singing at open mics.
Well, how about belting out a couple of tunes
I
for
will.
us
Don't
right
say
now?
belt because my teacher, wherever she is, it's, darling, we don't belt. This
Ah!
is bel canto.
Bel canto.
I love
And on
that.
that note,
I love
I'm
that.
gonna go around the
well,
camera.
please, you'll go over to the mic and tell us what it is that you're going to sing for us first.
Yes, my first number will be Sway,
Terrific.
a lovely number to open with,
The
and I hope
stage.
everyone gets up from their living room chairs and starts to dance. When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway, like the lazy ocean hugs the shore. Hold me close, sway me more, like a flower dancing in the breeze. Dance with me, sway with ease. You, when we dance, you have a way with me. Stay with me, sway with me. Other dancers may be on the floor. Here in my eyes, I see only you. Only you have the magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Other dancers may be on the floor. In my eyes, I see only you. Only you have the magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. You know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Thank you, thank you.
One more by another Italian, well, not so, but sung by.
I get too hungry for dinner at 8. I like the theater, but I never come late. I never bother with people I hate. why the lady is a tramp. I don't like crap games with barons and earls. I don't go to Harlem in ermine and pearls. I don't dish the dirt with the rest of those girls. That's why this lady is a vamp. I love the free, fresh wind in my hair, life without care. I'm broke, that's oak. I hate California, it's cold and it's damp. That's why this lady is a vamp. I get too hungry for dinner at 8. I much prefer 6. I like the theater, but I'll never, never, ever come late. I never bother with people I hate, which would be no one. That's why this lady is a vamp. I don't like crap games with barons and earls. Too stuffy. I never go to Harlem in ermine and pearls. I don't dish the dirt with those nosy old girls. Not my style. That's why this lady is a vamp. I love the free, fresh wind in my hair, a life without care. I said I'm broke, you know it's oak. I hate California, makes my hair all frizzy 'cause it's damp. That's why this lady, that's why this lady, that's why this lady is a scamp. Camp and a bit of a tramp.
Oh, terrific.
Thank you.
Why don't you stay right there, because we're coming up on the close of the show. So if we can just do the close. It's just been wonderful having you here. Really.
You knew I was going to go with a joke. Come on. It's me.
Thank you very much. And Anthony, we're so happy that
Thank
you were
June.
able
Thank
to
you
come.
so much.
This
It's
is
a lot
really
of fun being here with you and with Maria Giorgio.
great. So again, we're going to have to do this again. And just quickly, what is the website if people want to get a hold of your book?
Deckardpress.com, Deckard.
Okay. And you are...
I'm on Reverb Nation and Facebook, but you have the information
Yes,
right there.
it'll be in the credits as
and
well.
ladies, yes, and
Yes,
ladies
yes.
and gentlemen
Now,
will be rolling at the end.
Just quickly, you have a date, singing engagement coming up?
I do. Monday, February 17th at Les Pescadous, 90 Thompson Street, and reservations are required. 212-966-0021. 7 o'clock.
Thank you to you, Anthony. Thank you to Ed, our director,
Yes.
and who's also my son. I have to mention
And now
that.
my new
And and a very, very special thanks to Rich here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network for making this show possible. You have been watching Minding Your Business, a show for really incredible, diverse, extremely talented entrepreneurs. We are really happy and pleased that we've had Maria Giorgio here with us, and she's going to take us out with some traveling music with the song performed by Nat and Natalie Cole and composed by Bobby Troop. Route 66.
your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City. Looks mighty pretty, oh. See Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Boston, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make your California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Okay, all right, let's go. I want you get hip to this timely tip. When you make your California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks